Welcome to the Pay Yourself First podcast. My name is Chris Jolly, and I'm on a mission to financially empower millions of entrepreneurs. I want you to make and keep more money so that you can begin implementing and turbocharging a plan for creating financial freedom your way during the life cycle of your current business without spending a ton of time or becoming a professional investor. You see, most of the financial teachings out there are made for employees, not entrepreneurs. If you wouldn't listen to someone who doesn't have kids about parenting, why take business financial advice from someone without a business? Are you ready to break free of bad advice and follow the trail of other uncommon entrepreneurs so you can get from where you are now to the lifestyle you were aiming to create when you started your business? Then stick around. Here comes another episode of Pay Yourself First, where the only investment we offer is the one you make in yourself. Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Super excited to be with you here again today. We've got another great entrepreneur on. Her name is Kerri Kedziora, and she is calling in from BC, Canada today with Kedziora Growth, and she helps people with cleaning businesses grow and scale their businesses. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on. It's a real pleasure. Thank you for taking some time out of your day. I'm sure the audience is going to get a lot of value from it. I know I'm going to have a lot of fun. So why don't we go ahead and just get started? Why don't you tell everybody a little bit more about your business, how you got into it, and when people come to you, what are they really looking for?
Thank you. My business is pretty interesting. It goes back to, it started in childhood, but I'm not going to take you that far back. Eventually, after 25 years of being a solo cleaner, I started my own cleaning business. And there's a huge, interesting story behind that, but we don't have time for that today, so I'll skip it.
Okay.
Things were going really great with my cleaning business when COVID hit. And so many people, we had so many struggles. We were 98% residential cleaning back then. And on March 11th, when the Canadian government said we could no longer go into homes, we lost almost everything due to being in a lease to own opportunity. I was actually set to sign my mortgage on March 13th. And on March 11th, the bank called me and said, "I'm sorry, we can't do this." And of course, there's no stipulation for a pandemic in my agreement with the people I was buying from. I lost my deposits, lost my home, and was actually homeless for 3 months. And yeah, it's pretty shocking to most people when I say that. And it wasn't the worst time of my life, but it was right up there with one of the most challenging times of my life. And what we did in that instance was survive. And once we were finished surviving, we decided that we were going to grow our business back and we were never going to be vulnerable again. So we set out on a mission. We learned how to hire amazing employees, how to find and hire amazing employees. You can imagine during the pandemic, I actually thought, hey, anybody who wants to work when the government's giving free money to stay home must be an amazing, amazing employee. Like, I want to work with these people. And I found out exactly the opposite. I had some of the worst employees of my entire life during the pandemic. And this started me on this journey to learn to be a better employer, find better employees, and pivot to vacation rental cleaning and commercial cleaning. And in that, what I did was took a business that went from it was about 240,000 in annual revenues before the pandemic. We went down to $1,900 a month. We went from 40,000 a month, I guess 20,000 a month, down to $1,900 in the span of 2 days. Devastating time. And then we, within less than 18 months, grew it to be $1 million corporation. So what we did after that, I was just inspired to help other people understand that you actually can do this. There's some very small, pivotal things that you can do to grow your business really quickly and to go from solo cleaner to professional cleaner, to find the success you're looking for, is not as difficult as people think it is. It's all about understanding the industry and having the guts to go for it. I just started teaching people how to save their businesses, turn their businesses around, and now I can take people from 0 to 500,000 in 6 months if they're interested, if they're willing to do the work.
That's amazing. That's some great results for your clients.
Yes.
So for people who are looking to grow their business, you don't have to give us the whole roadmap, obviously, but what are some of the things that they're missing?
I think the number one thing, especially in the cleaning industry, is there are so many solo cleaners. And you hear that. I hear it time and time again in my strategy calls. There's so much competition. That's what I hear all the time. And the thing is that there's too much competition in the solo cleaner realm. And there's this whole target audience that many cleaners are not even noticing. They're fighting to be the lowest bidder when there's this elite target audience that's searching for professional cleaners to come take care of them. The people that I'm looking to work with understand that there's an elite audience that's being underserved and I help them get there. So I guess the answer to your question is stop competing. Stop competing to be the lowest bidder. Start being the most valued and the most, what's the word? Unique. And then you're going to find your target audience. You're going to grow your business.
Yeah, I think especially in something like cleaning, like you said, there's so many people out there that do it, and most of them do a serviceable job, so they're interchangeable, right? But if you find somebody who does an outstanding job, goes above and beyond, has something unique in what they do, that's always going to stand out in any business and any industry because you do have so many people who just do the same thing, who just try to compete on price, and that's not the way to win.
Yeah, and when that's the thing, pricing for profit, systems and processes, and quality assurance are the three things that so many people have an idea of what to do, but aren't doing it correctly.
Gotcha. Very good. Now, I want to ask you as well. So it's always interesting to me because, for example, I don't like cleaning, right? So it's not something that I would want to do for a living. Despite being in finance, accounting is not really that interesting to me. So I wouldn't want to be an accountant. Is this something that you have just always done, or have you always been passionate about it, or how does that look for you?
Uh-huh. Oh my goodness. I always hated cleaning.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated it. I started when I was 5 because my mom and dad split up and I was the oldest daughter. My grandma took me by the ear and taught me these old school cleaning practices. And then in my 20s, I was a single mom. And so this was a great way to just bring in enough money to get the milk and the diapers. When in my mid 20s, I worked with my mother in law. She had a cleaning business. I think that was the time in my life I enjoyed cleaning. She's a wonderful woman. She taught me everything I know about systems and processes and deep cleaning methods. And that's when I understood that you could be a business owner. But she didn't teach me enough that I could have my own business. When that marriage broke down, I was out of the business and I was cleaning for seniors because I was in healthcare at the time, working with dementia care. Seniors was my natural instinct. And I hated it. I hated going out in the evenings. I hated going out on the weekends. Made a lot of money every New Year's Eve cleaning, getting people's places ready for their party, but never ever had any fun on New Year's Eve because I was always working for someone else, right? So the answer to your question is I hate it. I've always hated it. I still hate it. But what I love is being a business owner, and I know everything there is to know about cleaning. It's funny, my clients come to my mastermind calls. It's actually the weekly thing that their homework is to find something to stump me. So they'll come back with questions trying to stump me. And then I realize that with 33 years of experience, I've literally done it all or have the concept to do it all. I hate it. But I love the industry. And especially since I've developed these strategies to get ahead, it's such an easy industry. And business is business, right? Once you understand how to be a business owner, you can equate it to anything. So now it's spilling over into my online program. I already know how to run a successful business that makes any business easy to run.
Yeah, for sure. And I really appreciate you being frank and forthright about that. And it brings up such a good point, which is that so many people tell you, oh, do what you're passionate about, right? Follow your passion. And sometimes that's really bad advice because you might be passionate about playing the piccolo, but you're probably not going to make a lot of money at it. But if you can find
Yeah.
something that you are good at doing and you can make money doing, then that frees you up in your life to do other things. And I'm sure at this point, you're probably not the one going out there and doing all the cleaning yourself either. So,
Haven't yeah, I haven't cleaned in years and I don't even clean my own house anymore. But here's the thing, when you were saying that about the piccolo, it brought to mind a thought. And here's my thought. For 25 years, I was a slave to cleaning because I needed it to survive. And when I decided to make cleaning my slave, that's when I really excelled. When I was like, you're going to work for me instead of me working for you. Then it became a totally different story. And that's when I learned I love my cleaning business now. And to tell you the truth, I'm actually handing my cleaning business over to one of my clients actually is buying my cleaning business. And I had some emotional times there because the cleaning business and I have been through a lot together.
yeah, I'm sure it sounds like it. So you're
Mhm.
handing it over to somebody else, and then you're just going to focus full time on consulting. Is that where you're headed?
Yeah, yes, yes. There's so much to do in the online consulting world, especially for cleaning business owners, and I love it. I'm so passionate about it. I love to see other people succeeding. And I've just come to a point where I feel confident in my ability to focus on the online program. We've been in business now 4 years, and we're there. We've got a solid, stable foundation that I can give up my safety net of the cleaning business. Because that cleaning business has paid my bills and paid them well for the last 6 years. I lived the last year without an income from the cleaning business just to make sure I could. Because
Uh-huh.
we all get used to having that extra cash flow.
For sure. Absolutely. I think it's an amazing spot you're in. I wish you tons of luck on the transition. So tell us a little bit more about the program. It sounds based on what you said that you're working as a group program. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, actually, it is a group program. It's a four-step program. So we'll work with people from zero in the foundations program, people who have been in business for a year or two who are stuck at a plateau. There's a plateau that happens for everybody between five and $8,000 in income, 2 to 3 employees. So we have what's called the master plan, and that's done with the client program. Then we have the freedom program. So many of our clients just come through the stages with us, and the freedom program is what it sounds like. We take care of everything for our clients on an administrative level for their business so that they don't have to worry about that. They don't have to rent an office or buy a laptop or printer and none of that. They don't have to do any of that stuff. They just let us do it for them. And in that program, they either can sit back and twiddle their thumbs and enjoy that the cleaning business is paying for them to survive their bills, their living situation, or they can 10x it and just go out there and do all the networking and rubbing shoulders. And we teach them how to do that. So the freedom program gives them financial freedom or time freedom or both, whatever they want. And then the final program is actually the most exciting one. And it's actually part of the reason I'm heading out on my journey is because we are now looking for investors that just want a business but not have to deal with it. So they can just join my program and I'll create the entire business for them. I'll hire their employees, I'll take care of their back end. All they have to do is just pay for it. They just have to pay for the business to exist. And then that comes with a guarantee that we will create them a $500,000 revenue earning business within 1 year. And the target audience for that, of course, is business successful entrepreneurs that are really looking for a tax break, who are like, I'd rather invest in another business than pay the taxes. So that's exciting. It's something that we're moving into now, and I just love it. I just love every step of it. It's really fun. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't do extreme sports. This is my extreme sport, is building cleaning businesses.
I love it. And I love that you geek out on that because I'm definitely the same way about some of those kind of things in entrepreneurship. Now, I want to ask you about what you learned about finances coming up. I know you said your grandmother, you worked with her and learned something.
Mhm.
She didn't necessarily really teach you running a business. So you find yourself running this cleaning business all of a sudden. You're a budding entrepreneur. What do you know about finance at that point?
Yeah. I am so glad that you brought this up. The thing about it is that is my biggest weakness and has always been my biggest weakness. I'm learning now about finances. With the cleaning business, the success came so quick that I got by. I paid my bills and I learned as I went about how to split up the profits, right? The first thing is that I always put 50% away for my employees' payroll. And then I put 30% away for my overhead, and then I put 20% for my profits. But honestly, understanding KPIs and how to track it is really it's a deficit for me, and I don't actually teach that in my program because I haven't learned it yet. I actually provide a skilled bookkeeper for my clients that knows this is a thing that I learned. If you don't understand it, because I took accounting 3 times and it's not that I don't understand it, but I don't understand how to track, right? Hire somebody to do that for you. If you don't understand it, hire someone, but make sure you're taking care of your finances. Make sure you understand that. So with my online program, I'm doing so much better because I struggled a little bit when I first found success in my cleaning business. I didn't understand what to do with that extra money. We made it through and it's everything is great now. But it was a really rough time, and the thing that people don't understand is when things take off, there's not time for the things you think you're going to have time for. Work on your finances first. In the online program, so much better that I understand where to allocate my money, that the money's sitting there waiting for me when the expenses come up, not the other way around. And that's what's allowed me to have the freedom to be able to take off. I'm getting in my car and driving across the States. I have no plan, and I'm not worried about finances. The other thing, the biggest, most important thing I learned from Grant Cardone, and that was if you have credit cards, if you're using your credit cards to pay for things that will make you money, it's okay. But if you're using your credit card to pay for things that will never pay you back, like a TV, dinner out, a car, if it's never going to pay you back, if it's never going to increase your ability to do business, you should not be using it. So I took that advice in a free workshop, and I only use my credit card for business building things. So I always keep my credit card paid off. And if I decide, in fact, just recently I hired a speaker coach. So my next goal is to be on stages. And when it came time to hire the speaker coach, I was really excited that the price was affordable. But more than that, I knew I had the money on the credit card. And I know that this is going to improve my ability to reach my target audience now of investors, of a more elite audience than I'm used to, that this speaker training is really going to pay off. And I'm putting it on my credit card. And I think that was the thing. I meet so many people that are afraid to put stuff on their credit card. They're saving it for a rainy day. Why save for a rainy day when you can create a rainy day slush fund? You can have a $2,500 credit card. That's the return on investment for my program. The return on investment is at least $120,000 in 6 months. Why wouldn't you put that on your credit card and then go for the return? It's a guaranteed return. It's not a maybe,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I think people get confused about. Stop trying to save your way to wealth. Invest your way to wealth, and you're going to get there faster.
I think there's so much packed in there that we could talk about. Everybody was ingrained in them that you go to school, you get a good job, you save, and that's the path. And it definitely is not anymore. And people are so confused, like you said, about debt and how to use it because you've got good debt and you've got bad debt. And like you said, if I'm going to go out and buy something and it's going to immediately depreciate, and then I've got to pay 25 or 30% interest or whatever people are paying on their credit cards these days on top of it, you're losing all kinds of money. But if I buy something and I max out my credit card, but then I get a 3x return on it, who cares? I pay off my credit card and I'm up 2x. It makes sense.
And stop being so worried about going broke. Honestly, just stop worrying about that because we're all going to get broke. We're all going to go broke a few times in our life. This is the natural succession. We all have bad days. All have broke months. That's life. If you spend your whole life being afraid of going broke and focusing on being afraid of going broke, you're always going to be broke. You got to stop thinking that way. And it's hard for me, born in poverty, raised by a single dad, who, once you know my story, you know there's a whole trail of alcoholism in our family, which means bad decisions, money spent where it shouldn't be. There's so much to unpack there. It took a lot for me to understand this concept. And I still don't understand it 100%, but I will not let myself be afraid of being broken. It's taking me to new levels that I never would have guessed I'd go to.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I mean, one, you open yourself up to taking bigger risks than you would take once you let go of that fear. And honestly, if you haven't go broke yet, do it.
Yeah,
That's really
learn how to
right.
come back.
Yeah, because once you build yourself back from that, you realize there's nothing to be afraid of because if it happens 10 more times, you'll build back 10 more times. And you only have to get it right once to do really well in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Once you know it forever. There's a lot of fear that goes into packing up your whole home and getting in your car with no plan. There's a lot of fear. And I called up my brother one day and I said, I'm just paralyzed with fear. Am I doing the right thing? Am I crazy? Am I nuts? What am I thinking? This isn't who I am. He said, Kerri, you brought yourself back from homelessness to create $1 million corporation in a year and a half. He said, anywhere you go, you can stop and build a cleaning business. He said, you're building cleaning business, 88 people that I've helped so far build cleaning businesses. He said, you're building cleaning businesses for all these people and you're afraid that what's going to happen. Like you're going to build another cleaning business if you have to.
Right.
I was like, oh, you're right. Thank you for reminding me. I don't ever have to worry about it. I always have that to fall back on.
Yeah, that takes a lot off your shoulders for sure. Okay. So please tell me this. If one thing could happen and it would 10x your business from here, what's that one thing that you need to happen to just blow the doors off what you're doing?
For me, one thing to happen. I know that for me, It's about meeting the right people.
Okay.
And that's what I'm on a mission to do now, is meet the right people. Meet the people that can see what I'm doing and want to work with me.
That's amazing. And that kind of really, I think, distills down probably what you're teaching people is meeting the right people, because you can fight for all of these jobs just cleaning Joe Schmo random's house, or you can go to the Four Seasons and you get a contract with them or whatever. It just depends
Right.
on who you know, right?
Yeah, you've got to get out there and network. You've got to stop being afraid. And all of that comes with knowledge. Confidence comes from knowledge. So if you don't have the confidence, it means there's something you don't know that you need to know. For me, I don't have the confidence, so I hired a speaker coach,
There you go.
right? I need to talk to these people.
Exactly. Absolutely. Okay. Now you told us a little bit about how you allocate funds when they come into your business, but I want to know that portion you set aside for profit. What do you do with that? Are you obviously you're investing in yourself? You've already mentioned that. Do you have assets you're currently investing in? Are you putting it back into the business, or how does that look for you right now?
Right now, it is going back into my business. I believe maybe for one more year, I'll continue to reinvest in the improvement of my business. There's a lot of advancements I want to take with technology, AI, things like this. But my end goal is to start investing in real estate. And I want that to be my goal for the start of 2025, to have an actual vision about how I'm going to make that happen. Of course, I did invest in Grant Cardone's starter program a couple of years ago, and I saw about 2 days of that, and I haven't seen it since. But I have a lifetime membership, and I'm going to, well, to tell you the truth, the very next thing before I move ahead with anything is, I've been following Tony Robbins for years. I'd like to spend a year in his platinum program just to get that really intense elite entrepreneurial experience. And then I will start using the profits of my online program to start investing in real estate.
Amazing. Sounds like you've got a great plan there.
It sounds like it, doesn't it? I sure hope so.
It's one of those things where you always have to see how it plays out, but real estate has definitely made and helped people stay wealthy throughout time. So definitely a good vehicle for sure. Okay, I think that's really all the questions I have for you today. Aside from, if you have any words of advice for other entrepreneurs out there, what would you like to tell them?
Yeah, the number one thing, there's two things. Use fear as your roadmap. You hear it everywhere, and it really is true. From my life, so up until a point in my life, I lived in a lot of fear that held me down. Life of childhood trauma, alcoholism, and now I've been 8 years sober. The thing about it is, what I promised myself when I got sober was I would never allow fear to get in my way again. So now when I feel fear, I understand that for my subconscious, it's my imposter syndrome trying to hold me back. So when I feel fear, I go head straight for it, because it's true what they say. They say that success is on the other side of fear. It's true. So that's my number one thing. If you feel fear, keep going. It's not a mechanism anymore that tells you to turn around. It's a mechanism telling you you're going the right way. In this day and age where we've been reprogrammed to think that failure is inevitable, that fear reflex is really a liar. So go for it. And the other thing is, find somebody that knows more than you and learn from them.
Yep, 100%. Kerri Ann, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. For anybody who wants to find out more about you and what you do, where's the best place for them to go to do that?
The best place is to look us up at kedzioragrowth.com, or check us out on Facebook. Just look for Kerri Ann Kedziora. If you Google me, you'll find me.
Awesome. Super cool. We'll have that in the show notes for you as well. Kerri, absolute blast talking to you today. Thank you again for coming on.
You as well. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
And everybody else out there, if you had a real pleasure too, and you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please go ahead and do that. And leave us one of those 5-star reviews also. That really helps us a ton get the word out to other entrepreneurs. We will see you all next time. Thank you so much. Ciao.
If you've listened this far, chances are you're an entrepreneur looking to become more financially literate and create financial freedom for yourself from your business.
The Pay Yourself First podcast
Is definitely here to help with that. My goal is to continue to share what I've learned about using your business as the tool to create financial freedom. But let's face it, it would take me years to share with you everything you need to know via these episodes. Creating financial freedom is something that most people never even consider, let alone make a plan for or take action towards. It's something almost no one was taught anything about. Doing it as an entrepreneur is even more challenging, especially without support. So if you're ready to get clear on what financial freedom looks like for you, come up with an action plan, and get the support systems and accountability you need, I invite you to consider the Abundantly Infinite Entrepreneur. I created the program to help entrepreneurs just like you get a handle on their personal and business finances and start building confidently towards financial freedom. And it's how you can discover ways to take 10 years off your retirement, add an extra 5 or 6 figures to your portfolio, and finally get clear on what numbers you should be tracking in your business and why. Together, we'll gain clarity around your financial goals and what being financially free would actually look like for you. Then we'll put together a customized game plan to get you there and the accountability to see you through. And by the way, you're also going to get all the spreadsheets you need to run your numbers, lifetime access to the materials, including any updates, and entry into our members-only community. In addition to all the knowledge, coaching, community, and systems that you need to create financial freedom from your business, you'll also receive a free financial assessment, a retirement planning session, and guided meditation aimed at helping you embody the feeling of true financial freedom. So yeah, you can just listen to the free content on these podcasts to help you move towards becoming a financially free entrepreneur. And sure, you'll likely see some results, or you can make the decision to commit to learning, implementing, and embodying what you need to know to create the financially free life you dreamed of when you started your business journey. Click the link in the show notes to answer a quick questionnaire, and you'll be on your way to joining the Abundantly Infinite Entrepreneur.